Wait for these and get this guy off. No idea what the regulations are on this, and I have no way to look. What's going on, everybody? I am in Halfmoon Bay. I'm headed to the tide pools. Tide is at about 4:20. It's gonna be at -9 low tide, so the tide pools are definitely exposed. I can just tell by the way that the parking lot is. I had to park in my accessory parking. But you can see we're here in the Halfmoon Bay. It's not going to be our first video here, but it will be the first in the tide pools, hopefully, if I can find a spot to fish. So, huge shout out to our parents for the new Elevated Expedition logo and shirts. Really appreciate you guys. It's very nice to me. Love you. Alright, so this is Mavericks. These are a tide pool occasionally. They're only out of the water a couple times a year. But if you're familiar with the surf competition at Mavericks or the movie Surfing Mavericks, this is where it happens at. You can see it's not typically out of the water, but right now it is because it's such a low negative tide. And you can see out there where the waves are breaking, that's those people, is where the surfing happens at. Picking our way along to the water, and then I'll start working my way back this direction to do some fishing, hopefully. The waves are a lot bigger out here than I expected they would be with this low of a tide, so I'm hoping we can find some good fishable areas. You see the mussel beds over here on the right. I think we'll be hitting those if nothing else. Collect up a few mussels to take back with us, make up some dinner. See, there's a big guy there. Trying to disturb the beds as least as possible as I walk along. Working our way along the mussel beds. Looks like there's no seals over here. Kind of hard to believe those guys took out Bin Laden. It is receiving, but I want to make sure I'm not in any danger standing here. As we get some more time, I'll start working my way out onto the island, hopefully. See what these waves are looking like, though. Yeah, that should all be plenty fishable. Alright, I pretty well doomed myself for this mission. I forgot the bait in the car. I also left my phone. So I have no concept of time out here or tides, which are both terrible when you're on the tide pools. I could easily get cut off if I'm not careful, so I've got to keep a good eye on that. I might try and collect up some bait and give that a shot for a couple hours. I've got about 2.5 hours when I walked out here, so I'm going to try my best. I just realized I don't have the handle to my fishing pole. I dropped it on the way out here. I definitely had it when I left, and it is no longer attached. So, I mean, it could have fallen off anywhere on the beach. I was trying to hustle and make good time. I was fiddling with it to get my line strung up. So, not off to a good start at all. Plenty of swim baits, no pull. Have a pull for the bait, no bait. So I'm going to try and get me some bait right now. I'm going to collect up some mussels as I find them along. I don't even have a bag. I'm using my pretzel bag. So, came really ill prepared for this. Frankly, I'm embarrassed, but if I can collect up some mussels and harvest a couple, I'm going to get about 10 mussels for dinner, maybe a couple sea urchin. I found some good looking ones that I'm going to try. Never tried uni before, so that'll be a first attempt. So I'm just working my way along this edge here, collecting up the bigger mussels that I find, and then I'm giving the tide enough time, you know, to recede so I can get down here to where I see a couple of good uni on the shelf. Walking carefully, I'm watching the waves, making sure that I'm not going to get run over. I'm also watching my gear behind me to make sure it's not going to get swept away. A couple of big breaks coming here. Wait for these, and then I'll bend down and pick up the couple of mussels that I saw. Good size ones. Brought some gloves with me. I did bring those, so if you're using gloves, you're not allowed to use instruments, only your hands to harvest mussels. Then I only take one or two. This is a really nice size one. Look at that. I'm only going to take 1 or 2 from a bed, so this, you know, from this area, so they can regrow. Got a feather jig rigged up with some of the mussels we harvested. We collect this up some uni. We're gonna maybe grab a couple more. It looks like there's some over here, but we're gonna try and do some fishing before it's too late and we gotta move. I was talking with a fellow angler. He said it's about 3:15. I suppose that was about 30 minutes ago now, so probably got about another hour of light, and I'm gonna use all of it to try and get a fish. So this is the first spot we're trying. See, I've got the biggest reel I have on the longest, most flexible pole, so I can feel if I get a bite. And then I'm just going to toss this around these different spots, see if there are any rockfish hanging about. Make sure I don't get snagged up here. Oh, we're on with the big eel already. Look at that. First cast. This guy off. Look at that monkey-faced eel. That was quick. I'm gonna get him. Go on, bud. Alright. We'll see what else is hanging out. That's the skunk off for the fish. Hoping for a new species of rockfish, but the good old tried and trues will work. We're on. This is a good fish, whatever it is. Wow, wow, wow. Try to keep them up here. Keep them hooked. Swimming like crazy. Oh, it's a big rockfish. Oh no, what is this? A huge, huge rainbow perch. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is special. Wow. I have no idea what the regulations are on this, and I have no way to look it up. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to put this guy back. But what a beautiful fish. I mean, that's 12 inches. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Definitely a first for me. It looks like a male. Look at that. Very cool. Very, very cool. We're going to get this guy released. Look at that. Back he goes. I don't even know what that was. I think it was a rainbow surf perch. How crazy. Definitely a first time species for me. Let's get casted back out. This is awesome. I'm so glad we were able to make something work here. I want to utilize as much casting time as I can get before I have to run back. You see, we can get cut off pretty easy. Everything all the way to the brown will be underwater here shortly, so. Also, I think I gotta be back before sundown. I'm not sure how the game warden will feel about me being out here after sundown. I don't think that's allowed. Cooler than that. First time species for me. I think that brings me up to 28 species, or stamps rather, not exactly species. I'll be doing a video coming up shortly about that. I'm sure towards the end of the year, at the very least. It'll be my year in review on the California passport. Alright, so, not the proper rig for this pole. We're going to be throwing a jig-headed swim bait on, I mean, a 7,000 series reel and an 11-foot pole. We'll see how she casts and if this is going to be possible. Oh yeah, we can make something happen with that. We can make something happen with that. No. Snagged up first cast on the swim bait. Not a good sign. Did we get it back? I don't think we did. But that's the tide pool. As you saw, I think I left more critical gear behind than I brought. So, not good. Not good. But we ended up making a success story out of it. I ended up catching 2 fish. Caught the eel, which I think I captured on camera. I'm pretty sure I did. And then I got the rainbow surf perch, which was a first for me. I believe it was a rainbow surf perch. I'll correct that in the post if it wasn't. But and I mean, as you can see here, beautiful day. Very cool to be out here doing this. All right, we made it off the beach. You know, not the day that I was hoping to have, but we made something out of it. I didn't bring bait. I was able to harvest mussels and use those. I'm really happy that ended up working out with a couple of fish. It's not something I've ever done before, so I'm stoked that worked out. I'll have to get a new handle for my reel. At some point walking out, I was attempting to tie up a new rig, you know, to save a little bit of time, and drop the handle to my reel completely. So, not even the first time that's happened. We were able to use mussels. I harvested some mussels for dinner. I'm going to cook those up. I'm going to try some uni for the first time. We'll get that on camera, get my reaction. 28 stamps and 14 ocean fish from the California Fishing Passport. I'll be making a video on that coming up shortly, probably in the next couple of months towards the end of the year. My sort of year in review is coming. Huge thank you to Mom and Dad for making these shirts and shipping them out to us. I love the design. It's a really cool concept. We're stoked to have our own logo and our own shirts to promote what we're doing here. The love and support from our family has been awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. And for anybody that doesn't know us, that's taking time out of their day to watch our videos, welcome. You know, we plan on bringing you a really good product. It's something we're working on. It's something we're going to make better all the time. Thank you. A couple of urchin we were able to harvest. Pretty good sized ones. Not horrible for the purple. They generally come smaller. I don't know what the best size to eat is for these. Take a knife and just clean the hairs up on these. Get a splash of oil going in the pan here. Let's do a little aromatic mixture before we add our liquid in. A little rosemary, chili powder, red pepper flake, a little paprika, just a nice oil mixture heating up, getting some flavor built up to add our water mixture too. Vegetable broth. Bring that to a simmer, add the mussels, and get them steamed up for about 5 to 7 minutes. Not ideal, but it was the only pot I had with a lid. Just drain these guys. Get you a shot of that. Got to finish up the noodles. And then some marinara. This is going to be my first time trying a uni. Let's open these guys up and see what they look like. Not going to be much roe in these smaller ones, but it'll give us a good compare and contrast between the small and the large. It's not bad. It's not my favorite. It, you know, tastes like raw seafood. It's an interesting texture. You know, I definitely thought that it would taste worse. Pretty good. I guess if I had to rate it out of 10 as far as seafood goes, this would be, you know, a 7. It's not something that I would have to have again. But I definitely would, and I'm excited to try it other preparations. And this is what I'm most excited for. Alright, we got the pasta finished up, uni finished, cleaned up. Not terrible, not great, middle of the road. I'm going to change that score to about a 6.5, I think. It's good, but it's interesting. I'm excited, like I said, to try. We have some preparations we want to try with it in the future that we saw on Fisherman's Life, where he tries it with bacon. He also mentions trying it with steak. So we'll be doing something like that coming up. But we got the mussels and the pasta all finished up, and it looks delicious. I'm really excited for this, so I'm going to give it a shot. That's really good. It took away a lot of the flavor cooking them the way I did in boiled water instead of steaming them. Not having the proper stuff again. I was woefully unprepared for this video. But we got it finished. I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to finish up my dinner, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.